I was hoping that the cameraman and the sound recordist and the music director would be here. Hi, music director is here. Wow. That's Sagar Desai, he's composed the music. Rafe, who's the cameraman, and Rasool, who's the sound recordist, and Suresh Pai, editor. They're not here. Most of the cast is busy shooting. Taranjeet is here.
Varun is there.
She played my wife in the film. And there is Varun Grover, who has done such a great job in the lyrics. So for everybody else, I can answer. If there's a specific question to Varun and Sagar, they're here.
My name is Kalpesh. I'm a huge fan of yours, starting from Raghu. In all your films, what I have observed is that the protagonist of the film, be it Raghu, BK in Riksha, Rajiv here, each one of these people are somebody who are lost in the crowd. So you don't find them in the crowd. Nobody wants to tell the story about those people. And you always choose your protagonist to be the one who nobody really can identify from the crowd. Is there a particular reason about that?
You know, the thing is that as I make films, I'm discovering these things like you are, you know. So, because when you're writing a film, when you want to make a film, you don't say, I want to address this part of the society, or, you know, you don't work like that. You just want to tell a story, you think of a character, and somehow the characters that are attracted to me turn out to be these people. So, when I look back at my films, I can see a pattern, like you are seeing. But I won't be able to answer why these people are attractive. There are other patterns I can see now that these are all kind of an obsessive people, you know. Raghu gets an idea and obsessed with it. BK one way and Rajat Kapoor here. Yeah, so there must be a fascination somewhere for these characters, but maybe an analyst will tell me why I can't.
And Rajat, what was the trigger point? I mean, we know that you are from Delhi. Is this your world or is it the world that you knew? What is the trigger point for this film? How did you start it?
The trigger point was the premise of a man who decides that I will not believe anything that I don't experience.
Okay.
But I had this idea for the last 7 or 8 years. I didn't know what to do with this idea. Because you can't make a film about an idea. But then when 4 years back when I figured a joint family scenario, then the two things came together. Then I found Rajat Kapoor, and then you could tell that story of this man. The joint family is my experience. That's how I grew up in this part of Delhi. So it is really my childhood in a way. I know these people very, not these particular people, but people like this very intimately.
The world.
The world very intimately.
Yes. Also a lot of discussions about the end. Some people said it seems like an abrupt end. Some people said it connects well because the way you start, it's a full circle. Did you have a problem when you're thinking about how to end the film? Because it looks like, it reminded you in a strange way of film, another year is like 1 year in the life of a character and the family. You see what they're going through. But were you stuck with the end, or it came naturally when you're writing?
You know, I think the thing with the end of a film or a music composition is that whatever themes you start with or you touch with, it should culminate that in a satisfying manner. And by satisfying, I mean emotionally satisfying. Not intellectually, also that, but more than that, emotionally satisfying. So for me, this was the most satisfying, the most natural end. Finish in this way. Of course, the film could have finished with a shadi, and we had some very funny scenes which we edited out after that. It would have been a happy ending.
Or even
box
when
office
he
would have been
tells
better.
his gang that I have found my truth. You guys go out, and that looks like more of a culmination in the end. Theoretically, the kind of thing, no?
No, that's not a culmination. That's another step in his journey, I think.
Right. So there was no doubt when you were writing this end.
There was no doubt.
Right.
When you are writing so much of VO, are you also questioning yourself?
That question was there. But this is the first time I've used a VO and it is very difficult. Because when we came to the edit, we realized how difficult it is to place those dialogues.
छोटा बहुत बड़ी बात, पर एंड में मुझे लगा कि शायद वो हीरो
कम होता तो बेहतर होता. These are all speculations. It's possible, very possible.
No, but did you question yourself extensively?
Like I said in the edit, we kept trying to rework it, to find other alternatives, kept trying to move it. But no, I'm quite pleased with it as it is now. But yes, it was very difficult.
I love the fact that there was no Delhi lingo in the film.
Right.
But still you do name the city in the film. That it's
Delhi lingo, you know, we have a very Bollywood idea of what Delhi lingo is now. Because it's all become Punjabified. Delhi film means a Punjabi kind of a language. But there is this part of Delhi which does not speak in that Punjabi fashion. And it is also very Delhi. It's very typical to this area, the Chandni Chowk.
So while writing the film, you had already placed the film in Delhi?
Yes, yes. This is my first film outside of Bombay.
This particular trait that this character developed, that मैं सिर्फ जो भी देखूंगा मैं उसी को मानूंगा, मैं उसके बाहर कुछ नहीं मानूंगा. And he goes on that very beautifully in the sense that he just gets it one fine day and that marks the beginning of a new life of his entire life. So your script actually started from
I just sit briefly more. If you stand away.
No, no, this
the trigger point, like you said. Did it start from this trait, from this character, and then you went into the joint family, or
Yeah, no, the trigger point was this idea before the character and before the joint family. But this is an idea that I'm sure everybody experiences from time to time. What you believe, you know, do you believe something because you've been told, or do you? I think that you know something only when you truly experience it. You know? People may have told you that this is hot, but only when you touch it and you feel the pain or the heat. That's when you really know that it's hot and what hot means. You know, you might have an idea of grief or loss, but till it's an idea, you don't know it. Only when you feel it, when somebody close to you dies, then you feel the grief, then you know what it is. Otherwise, I also feel that, this is my personal belief, that our brains are quite limited and we can't really understand all that is there to know. So the only way to understand and to know, for me at least, is through experience. So this idea had been with me, but I didn't know what to do with it. I wanted to do a short film first. That didn't work out. And then, like I said, when it came together with the joint family thing, then I thought I have a script. And then I sat down to write it. Thank you very much.
and I thought everything from the music to the way you led the entire film, to all the characters, to the difference in all the characters, everything is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why Somen Mishra's Ravi's character so poetic in the structure of the character and philosophical all throughout the film? Is it like somewhere the thought came that is it like justified wrongdoing, perceived wrongdoing of the society, like gambling and all that? How is the character poetic?
The idea for the gambling thing, for example, the idea is Bahuji has become free of what is moral and what is immoral. So he's in an amoral state, you know. In fact, we had a scene which we took out before shooting, when Bahuji says कि किसने बोला कि झूठ बुरी बात है और सच अच्छी बात है? Who told you that? कि मैंने तो अभी तुमको देख के झूठ बोला यार कि तुम्हारी शक्ल देख के मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, वो झूठ था, लेकिन तुम झूठ सुन के खुश हुए थे, अब तुम्हें सच बता रहा हूँ तो तुम दुखी हो रहे हो. So किसने बोला कि ये लोग कहते हैं कि जुआ खराब है, कौन कहता खराब है? मैं तो अभी खेल के आया, मुझे बहुत मजा आया. That there was a scene like that, but we finally didn't feel the need for that. But that's where Bahuji is. There is no right or wrong anymore. Is he unnaturally poetic?
Yeah, that's also my question. I also felt that कई बार dialogue लिखते लिखते ना as a writer हमारे पास एक बड़ा अच्छा expression होता है वो बात कहने की, but शायद our characters don't have that expression. वो इतने they can't put it that beautifully as probably us as writers can. तो मुझे भी कई बार feel हुआ कि कभी-कभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा कविता हो रही थी शायद.
Really?
I did feel it, but I didn't mind it honestly.
Okay, then that's a failure of the film, for sure. Because we tried to keep it very real, very mundane, very everyday conversational. Even if the ideas are philosophical or poetic, the expression should not be.
A few times I did, but I didn't mind it personally. I don't mind that actually. But also, you know, it's your world. Like you said, you grew up in such a world. What about people, what were the actors? Was it your world?
Most of us are from that part of India, North Indians like Sanjay Mishra, Seema, Bhargav, me. Most of us are from there, so we could actually feel that we belong there. And as we started shooting, it just became like one big happy family, you know. So it just became a part of it.
Yeah.
What did you trigger to experience that?
Sorry?
What triggered him to experience that?
I don't know. I still feel that
That's the
he's,
only thing I didn't understand.
yeah. I don't think he's trying to experience death, but he's trying to experience flying. And for me, he doesn't die in the end. For me, he's flying. So the idea was, at least in our mind, even though he'll probably die when he goes out of frame, we don't see that.
Just to take away from what Varun said, I mean, as an audience member, when the ending came in as a climax, okay, I felt a bit of a disappointment. Not because he didn't achieve what he wanted.
Varun.
The fact that he died achieving what he wanted made me feel a bit sad inside. I mean, all of that dream, all of that ambitions, we have to really actually achieve it was, what was the thought of the
I don't think.
I started believing in the way Rauji was going.
So if you speak a little louder, everyone can listen.
I
Yeah,
started
sorry.
believing in the ways he was going, and I started feeling like, you know what, he's doing everything the right way. This is the way to live. But then
See,
he
Bauji is
ended
very clearly saying, please don't follow me. Okay, this is my path. So none of you please try jumping. Yeah.
But in the end, when he actually
You know,
does that, then you're like, wait, why was he crazy or am I crazy to believe in him? It was almost like he was like this guy that, he's living the right way, you should, and I agree with it. But
Before
in the
that,
end, I disagree
before he
that
jumps off, after the marriage of the daughter, there is a short voiceover which says, बचपन जवानी शादी बाल बच्चे काम काज कितना सुख कितने सारे अनुभव सब अनुभव का योग मैं I am the sum total of all my experiences and it is a life well lived, it's a life rounded up, it's a life of joy, I feel. But if you're talking about the human condition, and this keeps coming to me at least, even in Mithya, that it would end with a death, I can't go anywhere else. We spend our life trying to tackle it, trying to find our way through it, trying to find our joy in it. Like it or not, it ends up in death. And there is no escape from that.
I think it's the inevitability of the thing.
That's where it'll go.
Yeah, I was okay with the ending. I'm sorry.
we also thought that the way he was going, and the way that the world was going, I was thinking that he would improve and get out of his lifestyle and keep it becoming better. That was the expectation. As a movie watcher, that I would expect it to, things would get better because of the ways he adapted.
I understand what you're saying.
My expectation was that.
Maybe we led you to a wrong expectation and then.
Yes, sir in red, sir. Yeah.
Couple of questions. One, Bauji's character almost seems spiritual at some level, like not the learned spirituality but experienced
Right.
spirituality. So, have you met certain characters that help you build this character up, or is this your own belief that you're into the character? And second question I have is a bit technical. I saw a lot of the scenes that you shot, they were shot through doors and windows, whether it was at the barber shop or at his house. Again, was this merely a stylistic thing or something new?
I'll answer the second question first. Rafe, who's been my cameraman for the last 5 films, and I decided from the first film that we'll never do a short breakdown. And that's something we have followed in all of. We never do a short breakdown against the conventional wisdom. Our idea is to find the shots on the day of the shoot. So every day in the morning we go to the shoot, say this is the scene, we ask the actors how would you play it, and depending on that, we make the shots. Having said that, we do a lot of work in the pre-production when we know the exact textures, colors, costumes, details, props, and all of that. So when we realized in the pre-production that it's going to be a small house, and to make that joint family come alive, And that's a lived experience of anybody who's lived in a situation like that. That is cramped. So we decided to cramp the frames with characters, you know. So there's somebody's elbow, somebody's leg, so that people are almost falling out of the frame, you know. So that became a way to achieve that feeling of space. And I think the doors and so on followed. Your first question, I don't know anybody like Bauji. I think I'm the closest I know to that kind of a person. No, and I don't know anybody like VK or Raghu, you know, but these are all fictitious.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
There is an idea of Dehe Tyag in some philosophies, you know, when you willingly give up your body in some spiritual experiences and philosophies. It's called Dehe Tyag, it's not committing suicide. You know, there's a vast difference. It's not come out of any depression, it's not come out of any anxieties, it's come out of almost joy. That you see that this body has seen enough, my senses have seen enough, I want to give that up.
With Jain's, yeah.
In Jain's philosophy,
Yeah.
this is followed sometimes. So he's absolutely aware of the religion. And like I said, just before that he has given this voiceover that I've had my life. My life is fulfilled. Sorry? I can't remember. Most probably yes, but I can't remember exactly. Because sometimes when you're writing, you reach the end differently. That also happens. This I can't remember. But I remember when I read it out to my friends first time. Even then, there was a lot of objection to this. That it should not die, that it should end up on a note of positivity, happiness. But for me, this is a positive ending. For me, this, and we wanted, and Sagar has done a great job with the music because we wanted it to be a celebration, the music to be uplifting. To some people, it has come across like that, but to a lot of people, it has also come across as a depressing end, which is very sad for me because I didn't mean it to be depressing at all.